Welcome, welcome. Jamie Hernandez here, founder of Breakthrough Yoga Coaching Method, helping you bridge the gap between your spiritual practice and your business so that you can grow emotionally and financially. So today's topic is the truth about being your own boss. The truth about being your own boss. So let me know in the comments what it is for you about being your own boss. What is the dream? Is it that you're going to have your own time? Is it you're going to be able to work and service in the way that you want to do it? Is it more money? Is it more freedom? What is it for you that gives into that dream that you want to be your own boss? Or are you your own boss, but you're kind of feeling like this is not at its highest potential? I'm running my business, and what I teach you guys is to own your own business. So I did a whole training on that, the difference between running your business and owning your business. And you can scroll down and find that. But it's, you know, if you are running your business, if you are owning a business, and maybe it's not exactly the way you want it to feel. So let me know in the comments, what is it for you about being your own boss? Is it the freedom? Is it the time? Is it the schedule? Is it the, the ability to kind of create the way you want to create, and work the way you want to work with your dreamiest clients, work when you want to work how you want to work? What is it for you? Tell me in the comments what that is for you, because I think that's important. Okay, so answer me in the question in the comments. Okay, and then let me know what the fear is. Okay, is it one, I won't make enough money, but if I try to do my own thing, what if I don't make enough money? So one. Number two, what if I try selling this thing, try to sell my service, but I don't offer or give the promise, I don't follow through with the promise that I offer, right? What if people realize I'm a fraud? What if people realize I'm not actually as good as I make it out to be, right? So is that number two? Or number three, what if I can't keep up? What if I try to run my own business, but I burn out? So let me know, is it one, the fear of being your own boss, I won't make enough money? Two, what if I can't deliver what I promise? Or three, what if I burn out? What if I can't keep up with doing my own thing? Okay, so let me know in the comments which one is you. Now, super important, tell me in the comments that thing that being your own boss would give you. Maybe the more money, the bigger paycheck, the freedom, the choice, the schedule, the, doing it in exactly the way you want to do it. Let me know, do you feel, and answer this just like honestly, do you feel like if and when it's like that, when I'm my own boss and I can, work with who I want to work how I want to work, offer my service, that it will be better? Let me know in the comments if that reality, that future reality that you dream of, when you get there, do you feel that it's going to be better? Okay, so let me know in the comments. Do you feel like, yeah, of course, if I had my own team, if I was making millions of dollars, if I, was really offering exactly what I want to offer, if I had my dreamiest clients, if, I was really just running the show, then that's definitely going to be better than my current reality now. So let me know if that's how you feel. Okay, let me know in the comments. So here is the truth, right? The title is The Truth About Being Your Own Boss. The truth is, if I were to put $1 million in your bank today, so let's say it's the more money thing and the more freedom thing and the more choice, right? So money is kind of like that tool that kind of offers all of those things. If I were to put $1 million in your bank today, right? How would that feel? Most of us would be really excited, but guess what would happen? Eventually what would happen? all of a sudden, everything that you were stressed about, you know, not making enough money, not being the person that you thought you were going to be, you know, maybe burning out, the feeling around that will come back, right? The feeling of doubt, the feeling of overwhelm, the feeling of imposter syndrome. Why? Why would it come back after you get $1 million? Is because we haven't practiced, we haven't embodied what that external reality is going to give us. So when we want more money, what do we truly want? We want more abundance. We want to feel more abundant. When we want more health, what do we want to feel? We want to feel vitality, right? When we want a better relationship or better relationships with yourself, with you know, life, with your teammates, with your coworkers, with your family, with your friends, what do you want? You want connection, okay? And if we haven't embodied abundance, connection, vitality now, the external reality is not going to change the internal reality. And this is a funny thing because we all understand this in concept. We all understand this in concept. But I promise you, the gurus out there who are doing it successfully will still have doubt, will still have fear, will still have overwhelm, will still have whatever it is you think that you're not going to have in the future. You're still going to have it. But the only difference is that we have welcomed both that part of us that fears, like, you know, we're just, you know, there's my groundhog outside. She always distracts me whenever I look outside and I see her. Okay, so we have a groundhog living in our backyard, and whenever I look at her, she distracts me. So I'm going to try to focus because I can still see her. So when we practice, or when we think that the external environment, external thing is going to change our life, because we haven't embodied it in our physical body, the body doesn't know that practice. So if we haven't practiced or haven't learned from, you know, who raised us what it feels like to be abundant, even if you had the $1 million, your body will still feel the lack, because that's what it's been practicing for decades. Let me know if this makes sense. Okay, let me know if that's you, right? If you all of a sudden have the perfect man in your life, or the perfect woman, the perfect partner, whatever you want to call it, if you haven't practiced that connection, that deep connection, that appreciation of being with yourself, in relationship to yourself in the world, guess what's going to happen? When you're in the relationship, you're still going to feel doubtful. You're going to feel like, maybe I'm not enough for this person. And the same thing for health. You want to feel vitality. But guess what? You can go to the gym 100 hours a week. But if you haven't practiced that vitality, if you haven't practiced that enjoyment, that awe, the miracle of what it is to have a body, you're never going to get to that place. So the practice is welcoming the parts of us that feel doubtful, feel overwhelmed, feel like a fraud, feel like, you know, you're not going to make it, feel like this thing is never going to work. And it's a both and welcoming that part, which is what I call the boss, right? The real owner of your life and your business, welcoming her to the table, right? And she feels abundant. She feels alive. She feels grateful. She feels, you know, wealthy beyond, you know, her wealthy. She feels connected, right? And guess what? The byproduct, because that's what it is, the byproduct of allowing yourself to feel wealthy, allowing yourself to feel abundant, allowing yourself to feel connected, allowing yourself to feel vital, is the recognition of those things that you've been wanting. Okay, so let me give you an example, real life example, because you're like, okay, that sounds great, Jamie. I have to feel abundant so then that money starts coming into my bank. Here's the thing about intuition, okay? And I work a lot with intuitive entrepreneurs, and intuitive entrepreneurs, they speak body. They don't necessarily speak in the rationale, right? In that very strategic linear way, right? So intuition speaks body. So if intuitive entrepreneurs speak body, then that's what we're going to work with. And intuition is simply remembering your future differently. I talked all about this in another training. Remember your future differently. So meaning to say, there is the thing when you were young, and ever since you were young, that you always kind of felt. You always felt about yourself. You always envisioned about yourself. You always known about yourself. There's many people that I work with that are highly intuitive, highly sensitive, highly able to heal others and transform others and heal themselves, right? So we remember our future in a way that we can kind of see, what it is, what it is that we want, what it is that we're kind of like, where we're going. Yeah, let me know in the comments if that was for you. If that's you, for you always see yourself maybe talking to people, working with people in a particular way, working with them in a certain modality. Just see if you can remember that. Okay? And I've always, since I was young, always wanted and seen myself living in a house that is like, hey Shasta, I've always seen myself intuitively living in a house where it is like brand new, fully renovated. Okay, and it's not necessarily this thing I put on my vision board. It is something I knew ever since I was young, and so I remembered my future differently. And so this is what happened. So for years, okay, so then I start growing up, and I do my life where I'm in my 20s and in my 30s, and then I get to this place where I meet somebody, we have kids, and years later, then we start looking for houses, and that's kind of stressful, looking for houses, and then we have to save up for the house, and then we have to put the mortgage and sign and make sure that we have enough income to like get approved. All this, it's very, very stressful, right? And then we look for the house, and like it took us years and years and years, because it's one of the biggest investments in your life. Years and years and years of looking for the house, and then we get the house, and then oh my gosh, it's stressful because then we have to there's all of these things, and we have to put the down payment, and then after that we're renovating, so then oh my gosh, and we have to renovate, and then we have to move, and I made this very wonderful idea to move my boxes myself. So we like literally lifted thousands of pounds of boxes. So all of it, right? All of it was like kind of stressful. And because I've been practicing kind of this level of anxiety and stress for decades, the thing that I wanted, the thing that I thought, oh my God, when that reality comes, life is going to be better. The thing that right in front of, literally underneath my feet, I forgot, right? My intuition. And then I went into a practice because, you do your survival needs, you get what you need to get done. And then I went back into the practice because what I teach our clients is we have to take our own medicine, right? And I went back into that practice of the feeling of abundance. And I'll give you the practices today of what I do just to give you an idea. The practice of feeling connected, and the practice of feeling vital. And guess what? The byproduct of that practice helped me remember the intuition that came to me years ago, decades ago, that this is what you've always wanted, and you have it. So the stress that I've practiced and I've embodied for years, right? That it's just this automatic. naturally, all of a sudden I was painting my house, and every room takes at least like a weekend. So that's a lot of weekends. And I'm the resident painter, right? Because we're trying to save money on certain things so that we don't have to pay the contractor for everything. And so here I am painting. And all of a sudden it feels peaceful. Not because I'm practicing a mantra and I want to make it peaceful and I'm trying to make it a meditative practice. It just is. But why? How? Because everyone's like, oh, I was talking to my contractor and he's like, oh yeah, I don't want to like work so much. I don't want to just be working. I'm like, so what do you want? I just want to be happy, is what he said to me. So what does that mean? Happiness means a sense of peace. It means a sense of fulfillment. And the only way that's going to happen is if we begin to practice that now. So if we want to be our own boss and we want to experience the freedom, we want to experience the abundance, we want to experience the connection, we somehow rationally think when we get to that place, when we have team members, when we have like what we're making X amount of dollars per month, when we're having flowing all these clients coming in, when we have our marketing down, all this stuff, we always think when we get to that place, it's going to be better. But guess what? If we don't practice that now, just like I said at the beginning, I could put the $1 million in your bank right now, and the practice that has been embodied for so many years, the doubt, the unworthiness, the false identities that I always talk about. I'm not enough. I don't belong. I'm not worthy. I'm not perfect. I'm not significant, and I'm not capable. One of those identities are going to, under stress, because it's stressful, right? Anything, even if you gain, it's still stressful, is going to reoccur because your body has practiced that for so long. So what's the antidote, right? Is to embody what it is that we're looking for with this end goal, this end result. The only reason why we have an end result is to recognize, oh, right, it's happening. Okay, that's the reason, so that we have a tangible, like, oh, right, okay, now it's happening. Because it's always this kind of vacant, only feeling of abundance, we sort of never really know, have we gotten there, right? So it's a bit of both, where it's understanding the tangible outcome, but also understanding what creates that outcome, what creates it, so that we actually can receive it. And this is so many of my clients, the funny thing that happens with them is that they go through years of training. They have so much experience. They have all these clients. They have all of these life-altering transformations that they offer. And it's right in front of their face. And yet the imposter syndrome comes up. And yet, oh my God, I'm going to ask these people for money. What if it, right? So sometimes the thing that we've been working for, the thing that we've been wanting, the thing that, we're like, oh my God, finally, when I have X amount of certifications, X amount of experience, then I will be finally worthy to receive that money. But guess what? What happens with most of my clients? They keep on taking the trains. And I'm not saying not to take the trains. I am one that it was always going to be in some sort of evolution, some sort of transformation. But if we want to be our own boss, right? By continuing to go into these retreats, these journeys, these healing journeys, thinking that we're finally going to be enough, finally going to be worthy, finally going to be perfect, finally going to belong, finally be capable, finally be significant, it's never going to happen. Why? Like I said at the beginning, it's that we haven't actually embodied that practice. So let me know if this makes sense. Let me know if there's any insights, any questions. I want to hear from you what resonated with you, because and also you might be writing, but for some reason it doesn't show up in real time. So I'm going to have to come back. I promise I will, and write you back. Okay? So that is point number one. Now, the other thing that I think is really important that people start to understand. You know, a lot of our clients, they make the transition. So maybe they're kind of running their business, but it's not fully like owning their business. Or maybe they're an employee and they're also kind of doing what they love on the side, or they're doing it kind of part-time. Or they're doing what they're doing full-time, but it's not necessarily their effort and their paycheck are not necessarily matching. Okay, so one of my clients, we were talking the other day, and she was like, I just let go of a couple of paying jobs, and ooh, you know, because I want to work more on the program that I'm offering and the service I'm offering. Okay. And she was kind of freaking out, and she's like, I don't know. I thought I was practicing expansiveness, and but now I'm freaking out. So here's the thing. Your path as an entrepreneur, as a human, there is no wrong decision. But what I teach, and if you to work with me, what I teach all of our clients is, as long as you are continuing to hone back into your truth, your North Star becomes more and more clear. And as long as you continue to move towards that, you're never not going to go in that direction. And while you're on that direction, you're going to need to pay, you know, to get to the truth, you're going to need to pay with two ways, either in uncertainty or in energy. So she chose the uncertain path, where it's like, okay, I kind of know, like, if I just get one client, it's going to kind of pay for, you know, what all that three jobs are going to give me, right? So that's the uncertain path. It's still a form of payment, but that's what she's going to pay for. Then there is the certain path, where I get the certainty, but I'm going to pay in energy. So I'm going to kind of hustle, and I'm going to do these jobs on the side, but I'm also going to pay in energy, right? So the energy that I spend there, it's going to be less energy for what I can do here. And there's no wrong decision. But we just have to understand, what's your threshold? Which one are you willing to pay, right? And guess what? There's still not a wrong decision. Again, because you will always move towards where you're going if you keep that current clear and you keep on taking steps towards it. So whether she took the job or not, we're still putting the boss, that part of her that's seeking, you know, for abundance, seeking for that place of fulfillment, seeking for that connection. She's in charge. So guess what we did? So that was that. But guess what we did? So there was these moments where she's developing her program and she's kind of freaking out. She's like, oh my God, I don't know if this is going to work. And I teach all our clients to practice what I call an energy leverage week. And an energy leverage week is putting 99.9% of your energy in, or are not putting, but eventually putting, but leveraging your time so that you are in that place where you are doing what you love. And so your program and your service, your expertise, the thing that people are going to pay you for, is a combination of your professional practice, of your client base, and of your personal experience. And if you're to work with me, we start to really unfold and unravel what that is. And then, so we start to understand what that is, and it will help you understand who your dreamiest clients are. And so if the thing you love, and you know that you're just in the flow and you're in the zone when you're doing it, and you are getting paid, or the potential of getting paid, then we must prioritize that, right? So this is how it would look like in a practical. When I say like, okay, let's practice abundance, let's practice connection, let's practice vitality. This is what it's going to look like in your business if you want to be your own boss. You're going to need to prioritize and leverage that zone of genius, leverage that flow, and prioritize it at where it's going to serve you the most. So for her, it was I'm like, okay, so what gets, because for her triangle of 3 was writing, it was it's writing, it is movement, and there are in her professional life there was some very kind of dramatic things or traumatic things that they have gone through. And so when we start to discover, okay, it's writing, it's movement, it's this healing journey, what gets you into that flow? And she said, okay, if I go for a walk, and then I just have this natural flow of writing. And so we looked at her week, and none of that was happening. There was no flow. There was no time for writing. There was no time for movement. So I said, guess what? This whole week, you're going to put that at the beginning of your time. Some people are night owls. Some people like doing things in the middle of the day. Some people like, doing it early in the morning. So I'm not telling you when to do it, but do it when you are your most kind of productive hours. So for her, it was in the morning. So I'm like, okay, the first thing before you do anything else, you do that. Why? Because the thing that we're seeking for, the connection, right? The fulfillment, the creativity, the joy, the expansiveness must be felt on a daily basis if we want to be our own boss and understand that the reality that we think is going to be better is actually available to us today. And when we do get the outcome, we are going to be able to receive it. Because I guarantee you, if you don't practice it today, you don't practice the abundance practice, the gratefulness practice, all that today, when you do get there, guess what? You're going to be looking around and wondering, is this it? Like, oh, I'm not. You might get excited for a bit, but because the nervous system, because the body, because your mind, because your energy has not fully integrated what it is that you're actually searching for, it's never going to feel you're not going to feel that happiness and that peace that you think you're going to have. Okay, so let me know in the comments if this is making sense. I want to check if there are anything happening here in the comments, because I can never see it. Okay, so here's the thing. So here, let me give you the practice, okay? A simple practice for feeling abundant. Because again, the false identity will always look around and see what you don't have. And one of the very simplest things for abundance practice is to just recognize, even just in this moment, those of us who are body workers, the miracle it is to have a body. Like, I mean, this body is trillions of cells creating this thing, this temple called the body. And all we need to do for it to function is to receive the life force that is coming into our body now. We're not breathing. Sometimes I know we get technical and we have breathing techniques, but we are not breathing. We're being breathed by what? By life, by like this amazing miracle. So this is it might be intellectual for you, but find something that brings you into that awe, into that wonder, into that curiosity, into that like, whoa, right? And so that's one thing. Those of us who are body workers, I think a lot of us forget. We so we're doing it and we're kind of intellectual about it, but sometimes we forget kind of the awe, the wonder, the miracle it is to actually be a living, breathing, conscious being. Another practice for abundance is to literally walk outside in the Garden of Eden. Trees, air, sunshine, water, right? And ask yourself, how did I become so rich? And let yourself experience the richness of life. Let it be integrated, let it seep in. And here's the integration, right? It's like sometimes we do these practices and we disconnect it from our business. And then we also disconnect sort of the outcomes of our business, just thinking it's some external thing, like I don't have enough students, the yogis and massage therapists and all that body workers, they don't make money. It's some kind of, it's a detachment from our practical life, right? As an entrepreneur, as a business owner. But guess what? And if you were to work with me, that is the first 4 weeks. The foundation of our business house is the spiritual house. So we must allow ourselves, and the way I talk about it is continuing to learn when we are in survival and we're moving from that place and understanding the bridge that is going to get us to our soul. So that when we make decisions, we're making decisions from this place, bringing the survival part of us along for the ride. So in these moments, like I was saying, when you're your own boss, you have more money, you have more team. That means you have more responsibility. So you're still going to have those feelings. But again, the practice I teach everyone is, well, it's a both and. You bring that part with you to the table. That part that is scared, that is part that is, afraid to sell yourself, afraid to speak about your, what it is that you're offering, afraid to, really own the life-altering transformation that you offer, right? And that part of you that has been embodying abundance, embodying connection, embodying vitality. And that is the decision maker. This part is allowed to be there, but the only difference is that they are not making decisions. And this is where so many of us get stuck, is we, just like my client who decided, okay, I'm going to, let go of those 3 paying jobs so that I can put my energy into working on my program. And we make the mistake of continuing the embodied practice of the survival. That's like, oh my God, you made a mistake. Oh my God, it's not enough. And all of that starts coming up. But guess what? When all of that starts coming up, it is also a sign that you're getting closer to where you want to go. Okay? So the resistance that you have, especially when it's so loud and it's so overwhelming, it's almost crippling, right? And this is what working with a coach helps you work through when you're going through the freakouts, when the SIG is gonna hit the fan or is hitting the fan. Just like my client, like, she was totally freaking out. When your resistance is so loud, guess what's on the other side? Exactly what it is you want. Or just like that other example, when I was like so stressed about moving and renovating and all that. It's like, oh my gosh, it's not even on the other side. I'm already in it. Okay, let me know if this is making sense. Yeah? Okay, so there are no mistakes. And that's the beauty about being your own boss. There are no mistakes. In being a human, there are no mistakes. But understand, just because you are your own boss, you're still human and you're still going to experience the doubt, the fear, the overwhelm. And what successful business owners do is they've learned, and what I teach my clients is they've learned how to bring both to the table and learned how to trust yourself and trust yourself to even make mistakes or what we call failure, because it never really is a failure. Because life knows where you want to go. And sometimes life is going to say, okay, you want to go there, but you kind of need to experience this first before you step there. Yeah? Let me know if that makes sense. Right? So we can have deep prayers of what is we want, but we sometimes forget the ramifications. And again, I keep on using this example. It's like, I've always wanted like this brand new shiny house, but one of the ramifications is like, oh, okay, we have to actually like sand it. We have to build it. We have to like clean it. There's like so much work for it. And sometimes when we're in that stress, we don't necessarily realize, or receive the ramification that goes with what it is that we want. Yeah. So, okay, so I'm going to recap. Okay, so my very first question to you was, what is it for you about being your own? What is it for you about being your own boss? Is it the potential paycheck, number one? Is it the freedom, doing it your way, number two? Is it the schedule? Is it all of the above? Is it something else, right? What is it for you? What is it for you? What is that feeling that you're seeking? Okay? It's important to kind of get that clear. What is it? And number two, so let me know in the comments. And number two, tell me what the fear is, right? If you're your own boss, but it's not necessarily fulfilling you, you're not necessarily completely at peace with it right now. You know there's a higher potential here that you're not necessarily stepping into, right? That truth, right? Tell me what the fear is. I won't make enough money. I'm not gonna deliver what I promise. Like maybe the people are gonna realize I'm not as good as people think, right? I'm not as expert or experienced. Or what if I do it and I burn out? So let me know if it's 1, 2, or 3. Yes, okay. And then what we start to recognize is, I gave the example: if I put $1 million in your bank today, the truth of the matter is you might be excited for a bit, but everything that you've embodied for the last decades are going to reoccur. Because when you have the thing you want, the resistance is going to be so loud, and the need to take care of that resistance is going to be so loud. And if we haven't given it what it needs, then it's going to block us from receiving what it is that we have already. Okay? And so what did I say about money? When we want more money, what we want is to feel more abundant. When we want more clients, right, we want to feel more fulfilled, right? When we want more time, it's like we want to do what we love. When we want better health, we want to feel vitality. And guess what? All of those things are available to you now. So it's not get the money and feel abundant. It's feel abundant and receive the money. Because if you receive the money and you don't have the abundance, guess what's going to happen? You're going to spend it all. You're going to subconsciously spend it all. Does that make sense? If you get into the relationship that is like, oh my God, this is the person of my dreams, you're going to somehow sabotage it. When you get the health and you got the rock hard abs, you're gonna eat cupcakes. Okay, whatever. Cupcakes are great. I'm not saying not to eat cupcakes, but you know what I mean. Okay, so you will go back unless you've been practicing it, right? So abundance creates abundance. More equals more. I was listening to this podcast and I love what he said. His name is Mo something, and he said, we're born billionaires, actually 80 billion in the bank account. And he was saying, on average, we have 80 billion heartbeats. And so how do we spend those heartbeats? This is what I want to leave you guys with. How do we spend those heartbeats? And if you want the money, if you want the vitality, if you want the connection, spend your heartbeats and prioritize it. Prioritize what you love, right? Prioritize that. And then if you were to work with me, then what we would do is we start to really synergize and distill all of your assets, all of your expertise that you already have. You don't have to go and get more certifications to get that. You already have that. Getting more certifications now is just like icing on the cake. It's just to keep you in the practice. It's just for the joy and the fulfillment. But it's not because you're not enough, or you're not capable, or you're not expert enough, okay? So what we teach you is to synergize all of that so that you really truly understand what is the life altering transformation that you offer based on your professional experience, your client experience, and your personal life experience, okay? Who are your dreamiest clients? And what I teach you is a practice of marketing, of now directly speaking to those people. And I know a lot of people have like a lot of achiness about sales and marketing, but marketing is just basically speaking about your experience. That's all it is. Okay? So that's what it is. Sales is just coaching. It's just guiding. It's just guiding people to their truth. It's not about convincing people to buy your stuff. It's about letting people know this is what I offer. Right? Just like restaurants, they open their doors and like, we sell spaghetti full of gluten and tomato sauce. Do you want it or not? And if I have inflammation from that, it doesn't mean it's not a good product. Do you understand? Right? So sometimes we kind of mistake our lack of students, or the lack of likes, or the lack of comments, or the lack of followers, because we think our spaghetti is not good enough. Right? When we've always had it. So what we teach you is to distill that and then understand your life altering transformation so that you can begin to shift out of, the other thing I teach you guys is to shift out of the dollar per hour model into a higher ticket. Why? Because when you run a business, what is the first thing you need as a tool? Cash flow. Guess what? If you try to do all of it for free, I'm doing it for free now, but if that's all I did, I'd burn out. Period. I just was talking to someone yesterday. Just like, I was offering yoga every day for free, blah, 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 but I burnt out. Okay. If you're not offering your gift, your client will never receive your gift. Do you see? So sometimes you get scared of not being enough, but it's like, if you're going to just burn yourself out, then everyone suffers and nobody wins. Right? So understand that money's just a tool so that you can be nourished and your survival needs are met, your clients' needs are met, right? Your team's needs are met, your family's needs are met, your whoever you want to donate to are met, your charity is met, yeah? So we teach you a business model to shift you out of that paradigm where you just feel like you're an employee and you don't have say on what it is, the amount of money you make. Because the funny thing about being your own boss, and this is what the thing that is a paradigm shift, guess who decides how much you get paid? Guess, just guess. You! You do, right? So if you want to charge thousands of dollars for your life altering transformation, you're allowed to do that, right? And guess what's going to happen? Of course, the part of you that's like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. All of that false identity is going to come in. But if you are in alignment and you understand your life altering transformation and you understand the cost it is going to take for your client not to work with you. So if you know you work with chronic binge eaters, if you work with people with PTSD, if you work with people who are sexually abused, if you work with people who have chronic insomnia, if you work with people who have chronic pain, like the cost is too high, right? not working with you or with somebody, just in general, right? So why not offer that to people, right? Why not offer it at what the true investment is? Because when we create a life-altering transformation, there is going to be a financial investment, there's going to be an emotional investment, there's going to be a time investment, right? People pay for what they believe in, right? And so people buy cars all the time, people buy houses all the time, people buy couches, right? People pay their doctor, people pay, it's like, so we have to kind of shift out of that old paradigm and understand the false identities that hold us back from receiving. And that was the last point. It's like, if we don't practice abundance now, if we don't practice vitality now, if we don't practice connection now, when it's right in our face, right underneath our nose, we will be unwilling to receive it. And we see that, right? We see that with you like I live in privileged neighborhoods, privileged culture, right? Privileged part of the world. And sometimes we'll complain about we don't have enough foam on our friggin' coffee, or we're waiting too long in line because we have all these groceries that we are going to eat, but it's taking too long. Or we're sitting in our nice car, and again, I'm not judging, but just sometimes we forget to actually receive the abundance that's available to us now. Okay? So, I want to hear your comments. I want to hear your takeaways. I want to hear your questions. The truth about being your own boss. If any of this resonates with you, one of the things that I offer is a breakthrough yoga discovery coaching call. And what that is, you let me know if the work that I do resonates with you. Then let me know in a DM or let me know in the comments and say, Jamie, I'm ready for a breakthrough yoga coaching call. And what we do is we start the journey of discovering what it is you want. What is your clarity? And what's keeping you stuck? So I do a practice called the 3-level clearing. And on the call, we start looking at where has that been encoded in your body? Where has it been encoded in your mind? Where has it been encoded in your energetic field? Because that's where it's coming from. Everything that you think is going to bring you to that better future reality is an encodement. It's already in you. So we might as well work with the operating system that's actually going to unlock the key to actually receiving that future reality that is going to be better, right? With the abundance, with the connection, and with that vitality. Okay, so I'll send you an application, you fill out the application, and then on the call, we do the 3-level clearing, and then I'll let you know about the program. And then from the clarity that comes through, right? That's when you can decide, right? What it is you want, right? Again, you're going to be paying in uncertainty or in energy. But either way, if you're walking towards your truth, you're going to pay somehow. Okay? And what we do when we work in a high-touch, high-ticket premium program is we collapse that time. So you can go out and figure it out and take years and years, and that's great, that's fine, all up to you. Or you can work shoulder to shoulder, side by side, in collaboration, getting really crystal clear on what it is you want with somebody who has gone through it and gone through it with so many different clients. And I will be there when the shit hits the fan, because it will. Again, resistance gets really loud when you're going towards what you want, because it that part of you, that protector part of you, is going to come up and say, hey, I have needs. So we learn how to give them that part our needs, and we also learn how to give our soul what it's been dying for. So that it is for me. DM me. I also put my calendar link in the comments, or my assistant does. So if ever you see that, you can do that, or DM me or comment. And otherwise, if you have any questions, any comments, if you're here for the replay, #replay or #live, I will promise to answer all your questions, and I will be here next week, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, either live in the comments or live on video. So if you have any questions, send them to me and I will answer them. See you next week. Bye, guys.